Alright then, ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome to Crypto Space. So in today's video we are going to cover Kaspa, its recent price action. We are going to cover a couple metrics for Kaspa, and of course we are going to cover general news, BTC and altcoin charts too at the end, guys. So if you are new to the channel, please consider subscribing, and a quick disclaimer that this video is not a financial advice. And now let's hop into Kaspa itself. So Kaspa is currently trading at 12 cents and is currently experiencing a little leg up of 1.9%. Market cap is currently sitting at 2.7 billion USD, and 24-hour trading volume is currently sitting at 66 million USD. So we do have a bit of a recovery over here for most of the alts, pretty much for all of the alts, and things are looking good at the moment on a daily. And I do believe that this pullback is pretty much one of the last chances to accumulate Kaspa or any other project. Of course, the pullback was caused due to the not necessarily great news coming from Israel, etc. And of course we do have that anticipation of the Bitcoin's halving, and of course we do see historically a volatility around that date. However, that's only the daily time frame, and this is only the daily or couple of days type of a pullback, and macro picture is obviously totally different for crypto market in general. So now, guys, you are probably thinking, why have I showed you that, right? So first of all, as you probably know, El Salvador is the first country that fully adopted BTC for payment. So as we saw on that video, people are using Bitcoin to pay for daily goods like Starbucks, etc. So my point is over here, once they are going to discover Kaspa, which is actually better for such transactions on a daily, that's going to be better, because obviously Bitcoin is our digital gold and store of value. However, transaction wise, Kaspa could be much better. So you can imagine what will happen technically if countries like El Salvador would fully adopt Kaspa long term for payment. So the current reward for Kaspa is currently sitting at 117 Kaspas. The next reward is going to be 110, and the next reduction is scheduled in 20 days. So the hash rate is currently sitting at 215 petahash per second, and the highest ever hash rate was sitting at 226 petahash per second, guys. So let's examine addresses that are holding over 10,000 Kaspa. So last time you guys been updated, that was on the 13th of April, and we're sitting at 72,350, and at the moment we are sitting at 72,480, which gives us a difference of 130 new wallets that are holding over 10,000 Kaspa. So let's have a look on the Kaspa on the daily and what happened. So I was mentioning before in my previous updates about that level of 10 cents, and that we could potentially see that dip towards that area, and we actually did. That was a very quick one, and if you had a buying order at 10 cents, I'm pretty sure that you are happy right now, because that possibly could be the last chance to accumulate a Kaspa. Of course, we could potentially dip lower. So in order to understand of what we could potentially see for a Kaspa in coming days, let's have a look at some news, and let's cover BTC first to see the general picture of what is going on in the market. So the first things first, 90% of Bitcoin ETF inflows are still a retail, says Vanek SEO. So guys, that is still good, because all of the inflows that we saw so far for BTC are basically retail investors. So that is good, because once the institutions are going to come, and not only through Van Eck but obviously through BlackRock, etc., that is going to be much more cash being deployed into the market. And also another thing is that Hong Kong listed Bitcoin ETFs could unlock up to $25 billion in demand. So the first things first, we are technically expecting that approval of both Bitcoin and Ethereum ETFs on today actually. However, there is still no news, at least at the time of recording this video, that these ETFs were approved, and that could basically be delayed. However, you know, this is great that we are pretty much seeing these approvals in the coming days. If I'm going to have some more information, I will let you know as soon as possible. And also, not so great news, Bitcoin miners could dump 5 billion in BTC after halving. So a Bitcoin miner selling could last for 4 to 6 months after the halving, amounting to as much as $5 billion worth of Bitcoin. So guys, that could be big. Obviously there could be a lot of volatility after the halving. However, it all depends now on what are the inflows from the spot Bitcoin ETF. So the last couple of days, if it comes to spot Bitcoin ETF, that is not as great as in previous month, because at the moment Grayscale is selling a BTC is pretty much overtaking the buying pressure for the ETFs. However, if we are going to look at that graph, right, that represents a Grayscale selling a Bitcoin, and obviously that outperforms buying pressure in some particular days. However, once Grayscale is going to ease off and that selling is going to ease off, that is going to be much better and much more bullish long term. Obviously, all of this is just a short term. And now if we are going to look at the BTC from the standpoint of liquidations, we still do have a lot of leverages around that $72,000 area on the weekly, so we potentially could see another flash out before we are going to see the full parabola. Of course, this is just a temporary, even if we are going to see some major pullback again. So we technically could see Bitcoin rising up and then flash out of these leverages, and after that we could see much healthier price action for BTC. So now guys, I know that you want to see Kaspa, but let's see Bitcoin, and after BTC we are going to see Kaspa. So the first things first, Bitcoin is printing that bullish pennant on a daily. We had that flash out of leverages, and now Bitcoin looks stronger, and it bounced from that area of support of 64k, and now it looks like we are going to go sideways. This is the time of uncertainty at the moment. However, this is just daily uncertainty, so I wouldn't necessarily be worried about it, to being honest with you guys. So the next technical support over here for BTC could be around that area of, let's say, 57, 59k for a BTC, and that would be the last opportunity to scoop up some more BTC and of course Kaspa. So now let's come back to Kaspa, guys. And now, given everything that I showed you guys, the news and BTC's price action and what we could technically expect, so let's say if BTC is going to see upward momentum from now on, and let's consider that there was the last pullback before the bigger pump for BTC, then these levels for Kaspa could be the last ones, right? However, if BTC is going to see a major pullback and retest that level of 50k, then obviously that would put Kaspa at lower prices. So the next technical support would be around 10 cents for a Kaspa. And the question is, can that happen? Well, definitely there is going to be a lot of volatility in the market, and I do believe even if we are going to dip for Kaspa, that is going to be accumulation phase, guys, okay? Because if we are going to look at bigger picture for altcoins and what is actually brewing, let's have a look. So that is a monthly chart, and these are altcoins that are excluding BTC and ethereum on a monthly, guys. So obviously that is the time of a halvening, and we are seeing that pullback that will be definitely too beautiful to be true if we would see straight up god candle right into that box right around the halvening date. So the first things first, guys, that is the major level of resistance that we are battling at the moment for alts. And once we are going to smash through that, there is going to be more a bullish price action for alts. And of course, that is going to come sooner or later. And after that, we still have all-time highs for altcoins. So what I'm trying to get at is that we are still relatively early, and I wouldn't treat that pullback as, you know, a reason to be scared of and panic pretty much, because we still have a long way to go. So I put that box, let's say, at 1st of January 2025, and I'm not saying that this is the end of the bull cycle. We could go definitely a few months into the 2025, but again, we still have a lot of time to go on our alts, guys. And if we are going to look at the things from the perspective of BTC's dominance, as we can see, we have closed above that descending trend line for BTC, sitting at 57% roughly, and now we are seeing that push back. So now if I'm going to zoom it out to monthly chart, guys, we can see that longer picture BTC's dominance is going to drop at some point, I believe, and then we are going to experience a full altcoin season. And now coming back to alts again, I would also like to point out the fact that once we're in a full-blown market, once we saw the peak, we're sitting at 91 in terms of RSI. So now we are nowhere near, guys, if it comes to RSI. So we have still a lot of way to go for our alts to go parabolic, and of course what comes with that, our Kaspa to go parabolic. So again, guys, buckle up for the volatility. Don't be scared, don't panic, so just accumulate Kaspa and wait for those profits. Ladies and gents, thank you very much for watching that quick Kaspa, BTC and alts updates. I hope that you have guys enjoyed it, and I wish you having a great day or evening wherever you are in the world. Peace and love, crypto.